Hi folks, Mike here. There's actually a pretty good reason I'm shooting this intro from my office instead of on location. When I think of it, I'll let you know. The reason I'm shooting this intro in my office about historic reenactors demonstrating drills of Napoleonic warfare from the turn of the 19th century instead of on location is because when I was on location for an event there, I got a ton of really good footage. So what I decided to do is break it up so as not to bore those folks that aren't as crazy about history as I am. So please enjoy this short video of some great volunteers, military reenactors at the Northeast Georgia History Center, demonstrating what life was like for a soldier at the turn of the 19th century in the Georgia militia.
The Seminole War really was a long thing. It was, to borrow not too much anachronistically, it was almost the Vietnam of the 1830s. It was a quagmire. There were troops that did not want to be there. The native population could blend into the environment, could blend into the native population, and disappear. They were hard to find. They were hard to corral. How the soldiers would have trained and drilled. We are not regulars, so we're going to do our best. And just for those of you who don't know, they are accoutered in the standard sky blue fatigue uniform for winter. I am in the cotton fatigue uniform for summer. That's the only reason we look different. Unfix bayonets. Shoulder arms. Now we are in what's the basic firing line. The idea was to maneuver the soldiers so that they could all fire in one direction at one time. That's really what all the drill was about. Squat, forward, march. By the left flank to the rear, march. Make a U. There we go. There we go. Squat, halt, left face, right about, face, left face, forward, march, to the left flank, reverse march, squat, halt, on the right, by files into line, march. Squat, halt, right face, forward, march, to the right flank, about, face. So it seems complicated, and we've only practiced this for a little bit, but these soldiers have practiced this day after day after day in groups as large as 100 to 200 men. And so we see, even though through all those revolutions, we're right back into that formation alpha firing line. So this is the way traditionally soldiers were trained to fight, shoulder to shoulder, facing the enemy. That doesn't work, say, in Florida, fighting the Seminoles, marching around like this. So what would happen is they adopted what's called light infantry tactics. They would adopt tactics that were more suitable to the terrain and more available for looser formations. So now we're going to be about this far apart, and that way, if you notice, as we move forward, we're able to move around trees, move through bushes, and it's not quite as formal. The weapons are flintlock. They are muzzle loader. That means they are one shot and one round only each time you load. More difficult when you're next to other people because you can't hit them with the muzzle and things like that. So, squad, in quickest time, make sure your muzzles are elevated. Load.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
It's all muscle. So many people think that. Yes. So you notice you'll also.
inside and look?
I'm the executive director here at Scotch.
Hello.
We do the same thing. All right, so we are going to be on this side.
We were doing some cooking, 1830s U.S. Army style. We're actually boiling beef. You could not fry your food. The Army specifically forbade frying food. It was thought to be unhealthy and unclean. And although germ theory was somewhat in its infancy in the 1830s, the association between hygiene and health was made. That empiric sort of knowledge existed.
And they weren't far off about the fried food, really.
But yeah, in a big way, yeah. When the Army was in Florida during the Seminole War, that was the first time many soldiers had ever seen oranges and went nuts for them. And of course, an orange is excellent food for a soldier because it's high in vitamins, you know, it prevents scurvy, all that good stuff. So they're all about oranges. Just in the environment, they can forage that. But the actual issued Army fare is still beef and hardtack.
I was wondering if that was hardtack.
Yep, it absolutely is. It's kind of the timeless soldier's food. Gosh, going back to as long as I know.
It keeps pretty well.
Oh,
huh?
excellently. This hardtack specifically is 4 years old, and you wouldn't know it. It looks like yesterday. And in fact, there are edible examples today in the year 2019 from the American Civil War. So yeah,
it keeps.
Exactly. And there's nothing really that can go bad. The ingredients are very simple. It's flour, water, and a pinch of salt for taste. Basically baked until there's no more water in it. And that's it. Now, when you would actually consume it, you could soak it in water or perhaps coffee or something along those lines to make it a little more palatable.
Yeah.
But it's really a filler. You know? It's kind of just something to make.
You're not eating it for enjoyment.
No, and it's not particularly nutritious or anything like that. Now, we do have, on the topic of food, we have another ration that is just coming into Army use at this time, and it is, of course, coffee beans.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Now, prior to the 1830s, and if Glenn were right here, he could give us a year, but there was actually a whiskey ration in the Army, and the 1830s was a period of temperance. That's where movement was growing. Sure. And so the whiskey ration was being phased out in favor of a coffee ration. Soldiers had mixed feelings about that. This is $8. These are United States silver dollars. $8 was the pay of a private per month in the United States Army.
Oh, wow.
And that may not seem like a lot, especially when at this time period, a average laborer, kind of a low-level farm laborer, would make about $1 a day. But this is $8 a month after expenses. Your food is paid for, your clothes are paid for, your housing, all of that.
Got a place to sleep, yeah.
Exactly. So you don't really have any expenses. The ammunition, a completed cartridge.
Right.
And at this time, they weren't just firing round balls. They in fact were firing bucking ball, which is a large round ball, a 69 caliber lead shot, and then 3 smaller buckshots. It would be tied all together like that in the cartridge. And so all of that was
shotgun style in a way.
Precisely, yep.
Every time we go to one of these kind of settlement recreations, we always see that one of the central parts of life was the blacksmith shop.